Have you ever found yourself sitting in your favorite chair, staring out the window, and wondering, asterisk, who can I really count on as I get older? Asterisk, maybe your kids are juggling careers and grandkids, or they've moved across the country. Maybe you've lost touch with siblings or old friends over the years. It's a quiet worry so many of us share, a fear of being alone, of becoming a burden, or worse, invisible. But here's the truth I want you to hold on to today. You are not alone, and the support you need isn't limited to the family around your dinner table. In fact, some of the most meaningful, uplifting connections in life come from places we often overlook. Welcome back to Wisdom of Aging. I'm so glad you're here. Today, we're diving into 6 essential pillars of support that can become even stronger than family ties. These aren't about replacing loved ones, of course, but about building a safety net so resilient, so nourishing, that it gives you the freedom to thrive in your golden years, not just endure them. Let's start with the first pillar, one that's as simple as a shared cup of tea and as profound as a lifelong bond: the friendships we choose. Family is given to us, but friends? Friends are the family we get to pick. These are the people who don't ask, asterisk, how's the weather? Asterisk, but instead, asterisk, how's your heart? Asterisk are the ones who remember how you take your coffee, who laugh at your stories even when you've told them a dozen times, and who don't bat an eye if you cancel plans because your arthritis is flaring up. I want you to think about your closest friend right now, the one who feels like sunshine. Maybe it's someone you've known since your 40s, or maybe it's a neighbor you bonded with over a shared love of crossword puzzles. That connection didn't happen by accident. It grew because you both showed up again and again, in big ways and small. But here's the thing, it's never too late to make new friends. I know what you might be thinking. Asterisk, at my age, who would want to be friends with me? Asterisk, oh, my friend, let me tell you about Harold. Harold wrote to me last year. At 78, he just lost his wife and felt utterly adrift. His children lived overseas, and his days felt like an endless loop of silence. One morning, he mustered the courage to walk to a nearby bench in his apartment complex, the one where a group of men gathered every Friday to talk about baseball. He didn't say a word that first day, just listened. But the next week, he came back, and the week after that, slowly, those men became his confidants, his cheering section, his reminder that he still had stories worth sharing. Today, Harold hosts that weekly gathering himself. That's the power of chosen friendships. They don't demand perfection, just presence. So whether it's joining a book club, signing up for a painting class, or even striking up a conversation with someone at the grocery store, every hello is a seed planted. Tend it gently and watch what grows. Now, let's talk about the second pillar, your community. And no, I don't just mean the town you live in. I'm talking about the spaces and faces that make you feel like you belong, like you're part of a tapestry woven with shared purpose. Think about your local library, the community center where folks gather for bingo, the church basement buzzing with quilting circles, or even the online group where you swap gardening tips with strangers who feel like old friends. These places aren't just backdrops to your life, they're lifelines. Let me share Martha's story. Martha, a viewer from Ohio, wrote to me feeling utterly invisible at 72. Her grandkids were grown, her husband had passed, and she spent most days alone with the TV. Then, on a whim, she volunteered at her town's community garden. At first, she worried she'd be the slow one, holding everyone back. But within weeks, she became the go-to expert on growing tomatoes. Suddenly, people sought her out. They'd say, asterisk Martha, how do you keep the bugs away? Asterisk or asterisk Martha, tell us about that fertilizer trick. Asterisk, that garden didn't just grow vegetables. It grew Martha's sense of purpose. She wasn't just someone's grandma anymore. She was a mentor, a teacher, a vital thread in the fabric of her community. Now, you might be thinking, asterisk, but I'm not a gardener or a baseball fan. Where do I fit? Asterisk, here's the beauty of community. It's as diverse as the people in it. Maybe yours is a virtual book club where you discuss mystery novels every Thursday night. Maybe it's a walking group that meets at the mall before the stores open, where the pace is slow and the conversation is lively. Or maybe it's a diner down the street where the same waitress has been refilling your coffee for a decade and knows your order by heart. community isn't about doing the most or being the best. It's about showing up as you. And if you're not sure where to start, try this. Think of one thing you enjoy, just one. Reading, bird watching, knitting, even baking pies. And find one other person who loves it too. That's your starting line. These first two pillars, friendships and community, are like the roots of a mighty oak. They ground us. They remind us we're not meant to weather life's storms alone. And just like a tree, our support system grows stronger with each season, each shared laugh, each moment of vulnerability. So today, I want you to ask yourself, asterisk, who's one person I can reach out to this week? Asterisk, maybe it's an old friend you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe it's the woman you always see at the pharmacy. Or maybe it's showing up to that senior center yoga class you've been curious about. You don't have to do it all at once. Start small. A phone call, a smile, a hello to a stranger. These little acts of courage are the bricks that build unshakable support. And remember, my friend, this isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about savoring what already matters. The friendships that make your soul lighter. The communities that remind you you're needed. These are the foundations that let us live boldly, laugh deeply, and face each day with the quiet confidence of knowing we're not alone. So go water those roots, nurture them, and trust that with every connection you cultivate, you're not just building a support system. You're creating a legacy of love that will outlast us all. You know, there's something remarkable about the way nature designs a spider's web. Thin threads, delicate at first glance, but when woven together, they create a structure that's both flexible and unbreakable. That's what we're building here, my friend. A web of support that holds us steady, even when life tries to shake us. In our last conversation, we talked about the power of chosen friendships and the communities that remind us we belong. Today, let's explore two more pillars that might just change the way you think about growing older, foundations that aren't about relying on others, but about rediscovering the strength that's been inside you all along. Let's start with the third pillar, self-reliance and independence. Now, I know what you're thinking. Asterisk independence? At my age. Asterisk, but hear me out. This isn't about stubbornly refusing help or pushing yourself to do everything alone. True self-reliance is about knowing your limits and your capabilities. It's about taking pride in small victories, like mastering a new technology, managing your finances with confidence, or even adapting your home so it works for you, not against you. Take Frank, a viewer from Florida. At 81, Frank felt his world shrinking after he stopped driving. His kids insisted on handling his bills, his groceries, even rearranging his furniture for safety. But Frank missed feeling capable. So he signed up for a senior tech class at his library. Within months, he was video calling his grandkids, ordering groceries online, and using rideshare apps to meet his buddies for chess. I'm not a tech genius, he told me, but learning one new thing a week made me feel like I'm still in the game. That's the heart of self-reliance. It's not about doing it all, but about choosing what you want to control. Maybe for you, it's relearning how to cook for one after decades of family meals. Maybe it's finally tackling that memoir you've been writing in your head. Or maybe it's as simple as saying, I've got this, when someone tries to take over a task you're perfectly able to handle. Independence isn't a solo journey. It's a dance between knowing when to lean on others and when to trust yourself. So ask yourself, asterisk, what's one thing I can reclaim or learn this month that would make me feel more empowered? Asterisk, it doesn't have to be grand. Start with a single step, like reorganizing a drawer to make daily tasks easier or watching a YouTube tutorial to fix that leaky faucet yourself. Every act of self-trust is a declaration. Asterisk, I'm still here. I'm still capable. Asterisk. Now, let's move to the fourth pillar, one that might feel unexpected, but is deeply rooted in our human need to matter, mentorship and legacy. You've lived a life rich with experiences, mistakes, triumphs, and hard-earned wisdom. That's not just your treasure. It's a gift waiting to be shared. Mentorship isn't about standing at a podium giving lectures. It's about passing the torch in everyday moments. Think of it as leaving breadcrumbs of wisdom for the next generation to follow. Let me tell you about Eleanor. At 76, Eleanor felt her best years were behind her. Then her granddaughter asked her to teach a knitting workshop, at a local youth center. What do I know about teaching teenagers? She wondered. But those kids weren't just learning to knit. They were learning resilience from someone who weathered literal and metaphorical storms. One girl struggled with anxiety, told Eleanor, asterisk, if you can make something beautiful out of tangled mess, maybe I can too. Asterisk, that's the magic of mentorship. It's not about having all the answers. It's about showing up as a living example of how to navigate life's ups and downs. And legacy? Legacy isn't just about wills and heirlooms. It's the imprint you leave on hearts. Maybe yours is the recipe your neighbors still ask for every holiday, the quiet way you listen without judgment, or the garden you planted that outlives you. A viewer named Carl put it perfectly. Asterisk, legacy is what people remember about you when you're not in the room. Asterisk, so how do you start? Share a skill with a younger neighbor. Write letters to your great-grandchildren about the lessons you've learned. Volunteer to tutor at a school, even if it's via Zoom. Or simply live in a way that aligns with your values. Every time you choose kindness, curiosity, or courage, you're adding a brushstroke to your legacy. Now, I want to pause here and acknowledge something. These pillars, self-reliance and mentorship, might feel at odds at first glance. One is about looking inward, the other about reaching outward. But together, they create a beautiful balance. Think of a tree. Its roots dig deep for stability, that's self-reliance, while its branches stretch out to offer shade and fruit to others, that's mentorship. You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say. By nurturing your independence, you fill your cup. By mentoring others, you create a cycle of giving and receiving that keeps your spirit alive. Let's bring this to life with a story from Rosa, a viewer in New Mexico. At 68, Rosa took up pottery, a hobby she'd abandoned in her 30s. At first, it was just for her, a way to quiet her mind and reclaim a piece of her younger self. But when her grandson's school asked her to demo a class, she hesitated. I'm no expert, she said. But those kids didn't need expertise. They needed someone to show them it's okay to make lopsided bowls and laugh about it. Now, Rosa hosts monthly messy art nights for seniors and teens in her community. We're all beginners in something, she says. Asterisk, that's what makes it fun. Asterisk, that's the heart of these pillars, my friend. They're not checklists or chores. They're invitations to grow, to give, to surprise yourself. So, this week, I challenge you to take one step toward either self-reliance or mentorship. Fix something yourself instead of asking for help, just to prove you can. Or share a story with someone younger, a tale of a mistake you survived or a joy you still cherish. Don't overthink it. Wisdom isn't polished, it's lived. And remember, this journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Some days, your self-reliance might look like finally understanding how to stream your favorite classic movie. Other days, your mentorship might be a 5-minute chat with a cashier about the importance of patience. Every effort counts. Every moment you choose to engage with the world and with yourself strengthens a web that holds you. So keep weaving, my friend. Keep trusting. And know that with every choice you make, you're not just building a support system. You're becoming someone else's pillar, too. There's a story I love about an old oak tree that stood in the middle of a bustling town. For years, people passed by it without a second glance until a storm tore through one night, leaving the tree scarred and leaning. But instead of cutting it down, the townsfolk built a bench around its trunk and hung lanterns from its branches. By morning, it became a gathering place, a symbol of resilience, beauty, and the quiet truth that even what's weathered can become a source of light. My friend, that's what these final pillars of support are all about, recognizing that the very things we might see as flaws in our later years, the aches, the slower pace, the wrinkles that map a lifetime of laughter and tears, are actually the foundations of our strength. Today, we'll explore the last 2 pillars that round out our 6, and I promise, by the end, you'll see just how extraordinary your journey truly is. Let's begin with the 5th pillar, prioritizing health and wellness on your terms. Now, I know health advice is everywhere these days. Do this diet. Try that workout. It's enough to make your head spin. But here's the thing. Wellness after 60 isn't about chasing someone else's idea of perfect. It's about listening to your body like it's an old friend and asking, asterisk, what you need today. Asterisk, maybe it's a 10-minute stretch in the morning to ease stiff joints. Maybe it's swapping one processed snack for a handful of nuts or dancing to your favorite Motown record while you fold laundry. Small, sustainable choices add up. Take Gloria, a viewer from Tennessee. At 75, she'd given up on exercise after a knee replacement, but her granddaughter invited her to a seated yoga class at the senior center. I thought, asterisk yoga? For me? Asterisk, Gloria laughed. But halfway through, I realized it's not about touching my toes. It's about showing up for myself. Today, she hosts gentle movement sessions in her backyard with neighbors. Some days they do yoga. Other days, they just sway to oldies with their hands on their hips. That's wellness. Finding joy in movement, not punishment. And let's not forget the power of a good laugh. Did you know laughter boosts your immune system, lowers stress, and even eases pain? I'll never forget a letter from Stan, an 82-year-old who started a comedy club night at his retirement community. Every Friday, he and his friends share the corniest jokes they can find. Asterisk, why don't skeletons fight each other? They don't have the guts. Asterisk, Stan wrote. Asterisk, is it silly? You bet. But we're laughing so hard we forget our aches for a while. Asterisk, so, my friend, redefine what health means to you. Maybe it's growing herbs on your windowsill, swapping stories on a park walk, or finally letting yourself nap without guilt. Your body has carried you this far. Honor it with kindness, not criticism. Now, the sixth pillar, the one that ties all the others together, is cultivating gratitude and joy. I know, gratitude can sound like a buzzword these days, but stick with me. This isn't about slapping a smile on when you're hurting or pretending life is perfect. It's about training your heart to notice the tiny, glowing embers of good even on the darkest days. Think of it like this. Gratitude is the art of collecting moments, the steam rising off your morning coffee, the way sunlight patterns the floor, the comfort of a well-worn sweater. Joy is what happens when you string those moments together like beads on a necklace. Let me share a story from Helen, a viewer in her late 70s. After losing her husband, Helen felt swallowed by grief. But one evening, she noticed a single firefly blinking outside her window. On a whim, she started a gratitude jar. Every night, she jotted down one thing that made her pause, even briefly. Some days, it was as simple as asterisk, the mailman waved today. Asterisk, others. It was asterisk, I finished a crossword without help. Asterisk, over time, that jar became a tangible reminder. Asterisk, I'm still here. There's still light. Asterisk, now, you don't need a jar to practice this. Start with a mental snapshot. Each day, one detail that makes you think, asterisk, that was nice. Asterisk, maybe it's the smell of rain on pavement, the way your cat curls into your side, or the fact that you remember to water the plants. These moments won't erase life's hardships, but they'll soften the edges. And joy often hides in the most ordinary places. A viewer named Lou told me he finds it in feeding pigeons at the park. They don't care if I walk slow or forget their names, he said. Asterisk, they're just happy to be here. Makes me happy to be here too. Asterisk. So, let's tie this all together. We've talked about 6 pillars: chosen friendships, community, self-reliance, mentorship, health on your terms, and gratitude. But here's the secret. They're not separate. They're threads in the same tapestry. Your morning walk health might lead to a chat with a neighbor, community. Your decision to learn a new recipe, self-reliance, could become a story you share with your grandkids, mentorship. Even your gratitude practice might inspire a friend to start their own. It's all connected. But I want to leave you with this. You don't have to master all 6 pillars overnight. Aging isn't a race. It's a slow dance. Some days, you'll lean on friendships. Other days, you'll savor solitude. Some seasons, you'll teach. Others, you'll learn. And that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. It's showing up for your life, wrinkles and all, and saying, asterisk, I'm still growing. I'm still here. Asterisk, before we go, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these pillars resonates most? Have you found support in unexpected places? Share your stories in the comments. Your wisdom might be the beacon someone else needs. And if this video spoke to you, please consider liking it and subscribing to Wisdom of Aging. Together, we're building a community that celebrates every chapter of life. So, my friend, as you close this video and go about your day, I hope you'll carry this thought with you. You are not just aging, you are evolving. Every laugh line, every gray hair, every lesson learned, they're proof of a life richly lived. And the world is brighter because you're still in it. Here's to your strength, your joy, and the unshakable wisdom that comes with every sunrise you witnessed. Keep shining. We'll talk again soon.